Bittersweet farewells and dangerous new enemies in Outlander's Journeycake. Spoiler warning, the following discusses detailed plot points from the Season 5 episode Journeycake. If you haven't had a chance to watch yet, go back through the stones and return once you have. If anyone thought that our Outlander faves would be entitled to a little bit of a break after last week's episode concluded with putting a nail in Stephen Bonnet's coffin once and for all, well, apparently that was wishful thinking. The penultimate episode of this season, written by Outlander series author herself Diana Gabaldon, had so much going for it in terms of what this show knows how to do best: high heat, high drama, high devastation, and a cliffhanger that I'm sure very few of us actually saw coming. With one episode left until this season ends, it's anyone's guess what will go down. Previously, it was the culmination of something many fans had been waiting to see play out on screen. Stephen Bonnet popped up in town with his sights set on kidnapping Brianna and forcing her and Jemmy to play house with him, although he learned very quickly that no one messes with a Fraser, especially when that family consists of many passionate Scots that would stop at nothing to get her home safe. Plus, after Gerald Forbes revealed his terrible intentions in helping Bonnet steal River Run via his questionable paternity claim, he tried to murder Aunt Jocasta. She's fine, don't worry, but the same might not be said for Ulysses, who saved his mistress by snapping the man's neck. More seasons come and go, and by the time we catch up with our main foursome, it's autumn 1772 and they're on their way back to Fraser's Ridge after procuring some necessary items and food for the homestead. Claire's latest impulse buys peanuts, because, as she tells Jamie, she wants to master the art of making a good peanut butter and jelly sandwich for her grandson. Methinks Claire has a craving of her own she wants to satisfy, but I can't blame her for it. Nothing beats a solid PB&J. Along the route, they come across a cabin that's been completely burned, reduced to little more but ash and its foundations. But they find that the Dutch family inside was all dead before the fire started, save one, a young girl, very badly burned and still clinging to life. As Jamie prays, Roger decides to ease her suffering, and before the group sets out again, they give the entire family a proper burial. But this chilling discovery begs its own question: who's responsible for all of this, and why? Back home, Ian's playing with young Jemmy, dangling an opal in front of the boy. When Jemmy touches the stone, he claims it's hot, almost burning, and in his tiny hands a second later, it gets warm enough to crack apart. A sudden buzzing fills the air, but only certain members of the group can hear it: Claire, Brianna, Roger, Jemmy, and they're the same ones the stone feels warm for. It's the proof that Bri and Roger have been waiting for. Jemmy's a time traveler, and now he's old enough to pass through the stones. Now, it's really just a question of when the family will go, and how long they'll take to say their goodbyes. They concoct the story to tell others about where they're headed and decide to stick to the truth as much as they possibly can. But within a month, they'll be back in their own time. There's another interesting wrinkle that Jamie might be forced to deal with now. The Brown brothers, Lionel and Richard, and the men they've enlisted swing by the ridge to tell him that they've formed a committee of safety in order to protect local residents after hearing word of land ransacked, people killed and cabins burned. Someone in the Browns group floats the belief that it was Indians responsible, but Ian vehemently rejects the idea, insisting that no tribe would participate in something like that. Richard Brown extends an official invitation to Jamie and the men of the Ridge to join the group, reminding him that it wasn't all that long ago that he took up the call to arms from Jamie when Tryon needed willing and able-bodied soldiers. Another old friend shows up on the Frasers' doorstep. It's Lord John Grey. He's got news of his own for Jamie, though. Old Lord Dunsany has finally passed away, and Grey must return to England in order to handle the affairs of the estate and be a presence to support his wife, Dunsany's daughter, Isabel, as well as William, who needs to be prepared to inherit it all. He admits that the both of them will likely return someday, but for now, they'll have to say goodbye, and offers Jamie a small portrait of William for him to remember his face by. Seeing his son seems to spark something in Jamie, because he decides to not let the opportunity pass to tell Brianna the truth about her half-brother, especially since they're destined to go back through the stones already and she'll probably never meet him face to face.